You might think this is lame, but keyboard shortcuts can change the game in terms of your editing speed. And if you can edit faster, you can complete projects faster, you can make more money. It's great. It's a game changer. Let's go. Okay, jumping into a random project. This is me rambling about gear. And it's a video that I've been putting out into the world. But what QW and E do, they're great for trimming clips. Let's say I waffle on at the start of this clip and I want to trim from here, for example. I hit Q, bam, all of that early stuff is gone. It's great to trim off the front and back of a clip and tidy things up when you're speeding through your edits. W is, in my case, W is split clip. It's like a cut. So essentially breaks those two clips, that one clip in half. Sometimes that's handy. Let's say you just want to chuck in a split clip here. I'm going to zoom in on the timeline. You can see there's a bit of fat at the end there, like when I finish talking, but I haven't trimmed it. So I can hit E just to get rid of that. You can work super quickly with these keys, and they are right there on your left hand of the keyboard. So really handy when you're editing. The next keys I use all the time are A and S. They're right below Q, W, E, and they are for zooming in and out of the timeline. I zoom in and out all the time because I want to go in and look at some audio details, and then I want to go back and move clips around. And so I just find that A and S for me are tools that I use quite a bit, so I put them in that spot. Another thing to play with is another key that I'll have is F, and F for me snaps out to show all of the timeline. The official key for that is zoom to fit, I think it's called. And that's handy because sometimes you just want to punch back out. I need to use that key more, but I often forget I've got it there. What I learned early on was using your mouse and maybe your left hand on the left hand side of the keyboard, and using your mouse as little as possible when editing does speed things up. So sure, sometimes you gotta use your mouse, and I still do it, but I highly recommend getting locked in with your keyboard shortcuts. The next shortcut I'm looking at is probably not a shortcut. It's probably something that's built into DaVinci as is. I can't really remember, but it's right next to my zoom in and zoom out, and that's the D key, and that's just to delete a clip. That is ripple deleting that clip. So as you see, all of a sudden it just disappeared. And I use this a lot. I use the actual delete key, and that leaves everything in place. But often if I want to get rid of a clip, I just want it gone. So I hit D and it's gone. Yeah, this next one I use on every project, and it's kind of basic, but it's super essential. It is the Z or Z key and X. For me, they move the clip up or down in the timeline. Super handy to move clips around, especially when you've got lots of lines, lots of sound effects, lots of things going on. It's nice to be able to just move your clips up and down really easily. So I just program that to my Z or Z and my X keys. Z for down and X for up. Next up, we have one that I use on every project as well. It is the Y key. Now I think this is already built into DaVinci, but you might not know about it, so here we go. Y just selects every clip to the right hand side, the way I've got it set up, to the right hand side of the playhead. You move this around, hit Y, boom, you've got everything from there back. And that can be super helpful when you're editing and you just want to move stuff out of the way. I might just yeet that over there, and then now I can work on things in this little gap. So I find that really helpful. But the other thing I would do, let's just say I chuck these clips up and over here for some reason. What I'll often do, because most of my timelines have got a lot more stacked on top of each other, I might often go in here and let's say I hit Y. In this case, it's only going to select this, and I might want to move everything, all the sound effects, all the music that's happening further in the wedding film or the edit. And to do that, I hit Option Y, and then it selects all the clips from all the channels beyond that point. So then you can create big gaps really easily. There is a keyboard shortcut to do it the other way around. It might be like Command Y, maybe. And Command Y sends it one way, and then Command Option Y selects everything, but I just never do that. It's all about the things further on the timeline for me, so that's a handy one to know. Next up, these keys are super clutch, J, K, and L. Okay, so when I'm editing, I'll use QWE, I'll have my left hand busy, but I can actually operate with JK and L. And what they do, L is gonna play the timeline. See, here's me waffling. If I hit it again, it speeds it up again. Then if I hit it again, it speeds it up again. I think this is native in DaVinci, but it's super good if you're not using this, especially when you're reviewing longer clips. It's so nice just to work your way through the timeline this way. Okay, I might want to just go back a little bit. So I hit J. J is back, L is forward, and K pauses. So you can just kind of work through little sections and just kind of work through them in a smooth way without having to stop and click and hit play a bunch of times. So JK and L mixed in with QWE are pretty powerful couple because they can just, you can be going back and forth, trimming, and it's a really fast way to edit your timelines. Enable clip. Now, I did not think this would be as sexy as it is, but I use it all the flipping time. Okay, let's just say we have a clip here. And I'm not sure about this. I'm not sure about this random shot that I've got here. So I might just want to just mute it and get rid of it and hide it. So I just hit slash or backslash or question mark on my keyboard, and then it just gets rid of it. Now I can all of a sudden work underneath. I can see what's going on. If I want it back, I just hit it again. It just either enables it. That's handy, but also if I jump to the color tab, I'm going to bounce around here. But if I jump to the color tab, I have the same thing set up for my nodes. Let's say I want some contrast here. It's already turned on, but if I'm like unsure about it, I'll just toggle on and off my nodes to see what they're doing. And it's just super simple with just one key. So I've got that built to enable the node as well as enabling clips in the edit. So super handy key. In and out points can be super powerful when you're in the media pool working through clips or on the timeline, and I use it for exporting. Let's have a look. So what I mean by in and out points in the timeline, let's say I just have, let's jump over here to some reels and TikToks that I'm working on. Let's say I like the start of this reel. I hit I, and then I let it play out to the end. I jump back a frame and I hit O to say, these are the bits that I want to export. Then when I dive into my export settings, it's only going to export those bits that have been selected. You can see it by the gray bar up the top. You can even click and drag this if you want to, move that around. But I feel like it's just faster and easier to use the I and O on your keyboard. You can also jump in, and I've customized a few different things with that. So if I hit select a clip and I hit IO and I hit P, it'll just dump that clip right where I've got in the timeline. If I hit the bracket thingy next to P, it'll dump it on top, which is super helpful. Or if I hit the colon thingy next to L, it'll chuck it at the back of the timeline. Those things are the three that I probably use the most, so I just program them very close to my in and out points. But yeah, going back to the media pool, you can see that you can go through here and select, let's say I'm looking at this, I can use my JK and my L to kind of work through the timeline. Then I'm like, oh, I like this bit where I do some stupid jump thing. So I might hit I for, oh, okay, what am I doing? Group. I might hit I for select endpoint. Cool, then I love that bit. Then I hit O for an out point, and then I might just hit my little colon thingy and I'll just chuck that at the back of the timeline, like that, bam. But you'll notice that in the media pool, I've got all these little markers of all the selections. Sometimes you don't want that. Sometimes, for example, I've edited a teaser for a client or for a wedding film, and I've gone through and quickly grabbed clips, and then I'm going through and doing my big edit later on. I don't want those selections anymore. So it took me a while to figure this out, but it's pretty basic. But all you need to do is hit Option X, and it deselects all of those in and out points. The same in the timeline. Let's say you select an in and out point here, and you don't want that anymore. I didn't know how to get rid of it for the longest time, but you just hit Option X and it gets rid of it. Bam, I just smashed into the mic. We're diving into the color tab for this next one, and this is for, let's just stick on this random shot here. This one is for Lightbox. If you're not using Lightbox, highly recommend it. I hit the tab key, and it brings up Lightbox. It's a powerful tool. You can filter your clips by a million different varieties. It could be keywords, it could be color, it could be everything. But I just really use it to get an overall sense of the project and what clips are like standing out. There could be something going wrong with some of these clips, or they might not look nice side by side. So that's why I use the Lightbox. Quick and easy, you just hit tab to toggle it. I could do a whole video on just the Lightbox, it's pretty powerful. Color coding my clips has been a game changer, purely because when you're working on big timelines with lots of different things going on, it can be such a handy little tool. Let's jump to a client project I'm working on at the moment. Okay, I've found the spot that I want to show on the client project, and there are certain things in there I couldn't show. So here we are. In here I had a lot of interviews that I needed to work through. So my workflow was that eventually I went through and picked out all of the best bits that I thought were pretty good. The client and I kind of went through and did this, and then I selected key themes that they were speaking about. I numbered those themes and I color coded those themes. So I went through, and how I did it is simply I reprogrammed 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to different colors, different color clips. So I'll jump back, and as you can see, I went through, colored all the clips, and then eventually I separated the colors into their own little blocks, into their own groups. How you would do that, I will show you now. Okay, I've just mushed up my basic timeline a little bit so you can get a feel for it. But let's say I've gone through and color coded these clips, and I just want to select the pink ones, or let's just say the orange ones because that's pretty easy. You can go through and click timeline, select clips with clip color, and I'm going to want orange, and then boom, you can see it's highlighted them. And what I do, you could copy and paste. Let's just do that. Command C and then Command V and paste them. You'll see there's all these gaps now. I don't want that, so I'm going to hit Option D to delete all the gaps between all those clips. And now I've got all of my orange clips in a tight little packet together. Super handy when you're just trying to manage all your files. Now there are probably more keyboard shortcuts that I have not thought of in this video, but I want to keep it short and sharp as well. Hopefully it wasn't too long. These have really helped me with my editing. I find myself getting quicker and quicker with every edit with DaVinci, but some of these tools have just been game changer. Now there are lots of tools and keyboard shortcuts I've tried, but that I just never use. You could program this whole thing, and it pretty much DaVinci has, but it's finding the tools that work for you, for your projects, and helping you be faster. That's all what I'm about. I don't care about these random abstract shortcuts that I will actually never use. So these have been helpful. There are probably some more, but please let me know in the comments if I'm missing out on some gold mines. Like, let me know if I'm missing something that's going to help me level up. So thanks for watching, and if you're not subscribed already, I'm dropping tips, tricks, sharing some freelance content as well on how I'm making money making videos for clients. So if that interests you at all, then hit subscribe. Cheers.